Hello and welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of sports. And it's time to finish up our MLB season outlooks. We have one more division to go. We saved the NL West for last. So, Tim, are you ready to get into it?
Yep, let's run it. Heading out west.
Heading out west, starting in the desert with the Arizona Diamondbacks, a team that is largely regarded as on the rise, a sneaky sleeper team to improve is the general consensus about the Diamondbacks. And it's easy to see why when you look at the assemblance of young talent that they have, led by Corbin Carroll. He is awesome. He flies around the bases, plays great defense, hits for power and average. He'll probably end up winning NL Rookie of the Year unless some other guy steals it from him outright. Zach Gallen leads the rotation. He's been really good, along with Dre Jamison, who has been a nice surprise. Made the opening day roster, was in long relief, pitched excellent enough in long relief. And when Zach Davies got hurt, he's just fit right into that starting role. And I'm not sure that he's going to lose it. He should stay in there for as long as he keeps pitching well. The Diamondbacks aren't there yet, like a lot of people think
No,
they are.
definitely not.
They're definitely on the rise. They definitely have potential. They're definitely going to be a sleeper. Give it more time.
Yeah, they're a team that definitely has a lot of pieces. You talk about a lot of the youth that they have, and they've combined that with, a certain number of vets with guys like Evan Longoria, Andrew Chafin. And Chafin has stepped up pretty nice for them as a closer. It's good to see him back to playing good baseball. So they're another team that, they have pieces. They're trying to, figure out how different guys fit around some of their core. They're building for the future. So the youth that they have is definitely going to take them to good places in the future. But it's one of those teams where you got to give them time and figure out what this team is going to look like long term.
Madison Bumgarner is still a consistent starter for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I just kind of want to put that out there.
Yeah, he's still around.
The next team we're going to is the Colorado Rockies. And unlike all
Eh,
of those good things that I said about the
eh,
Diamondbacks,
eh.
yeah, all of the noises that you can make about the Rockies, that is the characteristic of
Where's my
what they are.
giant X buzzer? Eh.
They don't know what they're doing. They don't. And it's sad
Yeah,
because at least Chris Bryant got his big payday, but what have we heard from him
hasn't
since he
worked
went
out.
to
Hasn't worked
Colorado?
out for them for the most part.
It's weird because they with the way they construct their team, it's really frustrating because Coors is such a unicorn of a place to play. They never really account
Yeah,
for it, and they never account like outside of it. It's so strange. It doesn't help when like three or four best arms are injured with Herman Marquez,
yeah,
Antonio Zenzatella, and Daniel Bard on the injured list to start the season.
yeah.
I just feel so bad for Daniel Bard. He had a really awesome comeback, one comeback player of the year, was an all-star as a reliever as he should have been, really unlocked the potential that he was supposed to have in Boston, and now he's dealing with his mentals again. So hopefully he gets back to closing games for the Rockies. He is sorely missed, but the Rockies as a whole, big ol' red X.
Yeah, all the best for Danny Bard, but there's just not enough going on in this Rockies organization. You talk about, the massive contract they gave to Chris Bryant, and he hasn't necessarily, panned out the way that they had hoped. And just the guys around him, they have, they don't have terrible hitting, I guess.
Eh,
But yeah,
CJ
it's like
Crone, CJ Crone rakes, but Coolers.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Coors can work against you and for you, and it kind of seems like the Rockies don't play for either. They're just a victim of their own stadium, so to say. But yeah, they've got to make some serious changes, and I don't know really what that looks like, but um, can't say that I see a lot of great things out of them in their future this year and moving forward.
Tim, I think that people forgot that the Dodgers won 111 games last year,
I'm not sure if that's talked about quite enough.
especially considering how their postseason ended last year and with all of the losses that they sustained to their roster. They took a pretty big hit. They
Yeah, they
tried to
lost a
alleviate
lot.
it as much as they can, but there's no replacing guys like Trey Turner, glue guys like Justin Turner. Like even Cody Bellinger, that was something that they had to make, but it still
Yeah.
definitely hurts. Just all of the depth that they lost and all of the injuries that they've sustained thus far with guys like
It doesn't
Walker
help.
Bueller, Tony Gonsolin, Ryan Pepio, and their bullpen. The only reason it's an area of concern is because I look at who's injured.
I was
JP
gonna say they got
Fireeyes,
nobody
Daniel
left.
Hudson, Alex Reyes, and Blake Trinan are all injured and they can all save games. But since they're all down and on the IL, you have Evan Phillips, Alex Vesia, and Brusder Gratterall, who aren't
Just have
bad,
whoever else you can put out there. Yeah.
but there are so many better options that like this Dodger team is not as strong, not as powerful as it was in years
No.
past. And it sucks to see. They're still going to be good. They're still going to be competitive. They're still going to be a playoff team, but this isn't the Dodgers team that won 111 games last year.
No, not by any means. I mean, obviously, with all the guys that you lose, even with you talked about with Cody Bellinger, even though he wasn't, producing, great things for the Dodgers, he's still a guy that's been around the Dodgers franchise for quite a bit of time now, and had quite a presence in that locker room. So all of
Don't
those
forget
guys,
about
whether or not,
Yokohama Bay Stars legend Trevor Bauer.
yeah, and he's off doing his thing overseas now. But it's just there's a whole lot of pieces that regardless of that production, they just look and feel like a different team this year. And now, granted, we talk about all those injuries that they're dealing with right now. I think they will come out a better team once they are able to solve some of those injury woes and try to keep some of those guys healthy, because they're clearly, especially their pitching staff, is just not in its final form right now. So we'll see what they start to look like once they get more of those guys healthy. But you're right, they're still going to be a playoff team. They still have tons of talent all around the field, but they are certainly not that 111 win team that we saw last year.
Yeah, they're not the big bad Dodgers. And if the big bad Dodgers aren't around, who's going to take the NL West crown? It's the Padres' time.
Should be.
It's their turn to reign because San Diego has built something that, quite frankly, if they play their cards right, should set them up for years to come.
Yeah.
The collection of star power is insane from top to bottom. You have a lineup that's absolutely busted with Bogarts at short, Juan Soto in the outfield, Manny Machado at third base. You have guys like Ha-Seong Kim, Jake Cronenworth, Trent Grisham that are still really valuable pieces.
Don't forget about some little minuscule guy named Fernando Tatis that may or may not be coming back soon. Can't really forget about him.
I was getting there, but you just kind of got there for me. He's going to be huge because they get him
They've
back.
been playing without him, and they've still been playing good baseball. And he's obviously, we know how much of a game changer he is.
Yeah, this Padres team without Fernando Tatis made it to the NLCS. Imagine how far they can go with him.
With him.
Yeah, look around the rotation. Darvish, Musgrove, Snell, all really
Darvish
good.
is back to playing, really good baseball as an ace for them. So it's good to see him, throwing the ball really well.
Hader coming into the ninth is also really
Yeah.
scary. You just have a juggernaut in San Diego that seems too good to be true.
Just
AJ
keep him
Preller and the
healthy.
Padres are committed to winning.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
insane the money that we talk about how Steve Cohen threw money around this offseason. The Padres weren't far behind him because they also threw massive offers to Trey Turner and Aaron Judge, lest we forget.
Yeah.
They're just stacking star power.
Imagine if they got Judge too.
Uh,
Oh my gosh.
Arson Judge on the Padres. I
That'd
can't
be
see
insane.
as much as I hate the Yankees, I can't see Aaron Judge in anything other than Yankee pinstripes. It just doesn't feel right. And that would be an absolutely busted MLB The Show team, Diamond Dynasty that you make there for the Padres in real life. But that's not
No kidding.
the case. They're just looking to get a World Series ring with a judgeless super team, but they're gonna be good.
Hey, they're making quite a push, and obviously we talk about all that star power. As long as they can keep guys healthy, they are in a great position to win a lot of baseball games and obviously head into the playoffs with not only, that incredibly star-studded offense, but, defensive side of the ball, they're pretty solid as well. And their pitching staff, as long as they can keep those guys, playing the way at least they've started, and keep those guys healthy, they've got, the pieces in pretty much every aspect of the game to be one of the best teams coming out of the NL.
To wrap up the NL West, we'll take a trip to the San Francisco Giants. If I had to sum up the Giants in one word, it would be Mid.
Mid.
The definition of mid. Everything about them is mid. Their record in 2022, 81-81. It doesn't get any more mid than that.
Perfectly balanced.
Their rotation, Logan Webb is really good. Alex Cobb, Sean Manaea, Ross Stripling, Alex Wood, mid. That bullpen, Camilo Doval is really good, but John Brebbia, Taylor and Tyler Rogers, Scott Alexander, mid. That lineup, yeah, Jock Peterson, Michael Conforto, mid. And that is the expectation for the Giants, and that is what they are going to be until proven otherwise. And they haven't been that for the last, ever since they won 100 plus games in 21. They reverted to mid, and they have stayed mid, and they will stay mid until they make any like really big moves or big surprises. I don't expect anything. I expect the Giants to finish 81-81 again.
Yeah, the problem with them is they're still a solid team. They have decent guys, but the problem is their ceiling is not there. They don't have anybody that I think, that could be a real big breakout for them, and put up some big numbers and be a big game changer. So it's like they're just going to keep coasting at, winning a series 2 out of 3 games, losing 1 out of 3, getting swept, maybe sweeping a team. Like they're just gonna stick around that middle of the pack, which is why, like you said, they're really set to be right around that 81-81 again, just because they don't have enough to really build on anything. I feel like anytime they get any sense of momentum, they just go back to what they know, which is just mid.
We know what we're going to get from the Giants. They're not super good at any one area of the game, but they're not bad in any one area of the game.
They're just very overall decent and solid, but not that good, not that terrible.
You can spell Giants MID mid. But that's all we got for our NL West season outlook. We're finally done wrapping around the league. If you haven't seen our other breakdowns, go watch those. Draft season is coming up, so we're going to be looking forward to that. Once again, lots of NFL content we have on the channel. We also have lots from college basketball season if you're a big college hoops enthusiast, and so much more. But if you want more from us, like and subscribe. Until next time, we out. Pelota.